different reasons. One has the flu. Meissner has the flu from Columbia, and Will Emery hurt his hand in practice yesterday on the rim. So they haven't had any time to make adjustments, and they're playing without their starting centers.
Columbia in the light blue, Dartmouth in the white. We play at Lead Arena in Hanover. Brendan Barry for the Big Green. Dartmouth will have Cornell here tomorrow, the final 2 games of the season. Taylor Johnson will be honored tomorrow night as one of the seniors on the Big Green squad. Idris Jackson had a big game against Columbia. First time around, Miles Wright knocks down a 3.
First possession, Miles hits a 3. It's senior weekend. He's gone off here before. That was a tough one.
32.8% makes on the year from behind the arc for Miles Wright. Averages nearly a dozen a game. Columbia won the first meeting between these teams in New York by 3. They came up with a big block at the end of the game. Dartmouth is bidding for overtime. Deep into the clock, Hickman off the window, no good, and we're going to have a hold, I think, on Idris Jackson there as Tepe tried to get towards the ball.
Dartmouth starting in man-to-man, as did Columbia. Columbia has been playing a lot of zone lately, but chose to attack the Big Green with man defense.
Caslin, and it goes down.
Nice staggered screen on the out-of-bounds play.
3-2. Caslin making the start here with Meissner not in the lineup. The senior averages nearly 10 a game. He's a good player. Lions come in 8-17 overall, but they control their own destiny for a playoff berth in the Ivy League. Jackson off the pass from Knight.
That's real good interior passing, too. Chris Knight drew the defense, passed to his buddy Andres inside, and steals the ball.
And able to control it enough to get it to Miles Wright for 2 more for the Big Green.
He's responsible for the last 4. Made a play in the offensive end and 1 in the defensive end. Very active Big Green team right now.
You thought Dartmouth needed a good start here. 7 points in the first 2 minutes will do that. 7-2 early lead for the Big Green. This is Mike Smith. Nice bounce pass inside, and we get a foul on Taylor Johnson.
I haven't seen Smith in person, but boy, is he calm out there. He just feels like he's got it going. And when you look at him, he changes his gears. He's been south of the foul line on every possession so far.
I think what you like most about his game, too, is the 112 assists season.
He's leading the league in assists, but the last time they scored, he picked Barry up full court. And that's a chore for Brennan if he's going to face that the whole game because Smith is very, very quick.
This is 2 shots for Patrick Tepe, sophomore from Charlotte. First was good, second one no good, and it's a 7-3 Dartmouth lead. Big Green like to do a better job against Columbia on the boards, and they did in that first game. Columbia won the battle there. That's an open look in the corner. Dartmouth has James Foy in the game early, pass down low, and Knight cannot finish it. Early trip to the bench for Idris Jackson brought for Dartmouth sophomore James Foy into the game, number 10. And that's going to be a travel up top.
You know, Coach McLaughlin only has 2 legitimate big men, so he's probably trying to keep him fresh. It was an early substitute for Andres Jackson, but they're probably going to be playing small most of the night and have Andres replace Knight and play just a little bit together. That's kind of what it looks like right now.
Officials tonight are Steve Ruppenthal, Evan Burrows, and Earl Robinson. It's the one meeting of the year between these teams. Takes place on the last weekend of the season. Teams played 4 weeks ago in New York. Barry distributes. Taylor Johnson launches. It's a good 3-point shooter. Didn't get that one.
It was also a very good look, and they went inside. They got a paint touch when they got the ball inside to Chris Knight.
Adlish, no. And Foy with a good job to tip the rebound into his own hands. How about that pass? Wow. Chris Knight gets the assist. Taylor Johnson the hoop.
You can get a feel for the game plan. They're going inside. They threw the ball inside to Chris Knight, and they've got rewarded each possession.
9-3 lead for the Big Green. This is Smith for 3, and it rattles out. A lot of energy for Dartmouth here. Tough weekend last weekend at Penn and Princeton, and Johnson gets his second consecutive field goal, and the lead is 8.
Nice transition basket. Columbia a little weak in defensive transition that time. Dartmouth took full advantage of it.
Adlish feeds to Pay inside, and that doesn't go. Johnson flashes into the front court. A couple of second-year head coaches. Jim Ingles, the coach at Columbia, long stint at NJIT, returned to Columbia where he had been an assistant under Coach Jones. Dave McLaughlin.
Too much.
For the Big Green. Johnson.
Taylor tried to split the screening action. They were showing heavy, and he tried to split it. Turnover.
Gaslin gave a good fake, knocked down the shot. He has both Columbia field goals in the opening moments of the game. It's 11-5.
Dartmouth doing a good job on Aldis. He has not taken a shot yet.
No pressure. Barry. Top Dartmouth getting shots off earlier in the clock, too.
That helps.
Barry now down to 10. And we'll back it out with 7. Got to go now. It'll be a Foy three-pointer. Johnson passed it up, distributed it to James Foy, who knocks it down.
Taylor Johnson turned down a good shot to get a better one for Foy, and Foy cashed in.
5th made three-pointer of the year for James Foy, the sophomore from Hamilton, Mass. Smith, the runner with the left hand, no. Tapay can't put it back. Dartmouth ball. Immediate timeout can't come soon enough for Columbia. Wright, that's off the mark. For the Lions, Smith will take it in, back out. Hickman a 3, got it.
Columbia can be explosive. Get the ball to Smith. He creates. The rest can shoot.
Columbia, a team that averages 10 threes a game. They made only 10 last weekend. Barry, 10 on the shot clock.
Oh.
Knight comes up short with that.
Good look. Driving dish by Miles Wright.
Smith with the right hand. Columbia Adlish now squares up a 3 and knocks it down.
Guess who you don't want to get going if you're Dartmouth? His first touch, his first look. Bang.
Back-to-back three-point field goals, and Columbia closes back within 3. We still haven't had that media timeout.
And we haven't had a timeout called by Columbia either, and Dartmouth made a pretty good run.
Now we'll get the break on an offensive foul. That'll be Taylor Johnson's second on the push-off. But a good start for the Big Green here in Hanover tonight. Off to a 14-11 lead. Timeout with 13:16 to go in the first half. This is the Ivy League Network and ES.
Outside of the steal by that Dartmouth created. But I think both teams are happy the way they're playing offensively. The coaches are probably going to implore them to pick up the defense.
We will see new players into the game for Dartmouth. That includes freshman Aaron Rye and Ian Sester and Idris Jackson back into the game. Lions turn it over. That's one of their new guys in. Number 4 is Rodney Hunter. Out on the 4, big guy, 44, is a 6'10 freshman, Jaron Falls from Holt, Michigan. And they also have Gabe Stefanini, freshman from Bologna, Italy, in the game. Here's Barry to Rye in the corner. Plenty of time on the clock as Sester gets the Dartmouth lineup going here. He sneaks underneath, try to give it to Idris Jackson, ripped away by Stefanini. Smith goes coast to coast.
You got to pick him up in transition. He leaked out that time, but you got to stay with him. You need a fullback. Someone's got to take that responsibility.
It's an 8-0 run for the Lions, and they're within 1. Foy comes back to Rye. Idris Jackson, a long one. That'll carry out of bounds and go over to Columbia. Jackson doesn't shoot many threes. Actually, he's been pretty good 15 of 27,
Yeah,
56%.
he's not afraid to shoot. He's a very aggressive player offensively.
Good find out of Santa Margarita, California. Inside is Falls. Working against Jackson, and Falls able to finish it. He averages 4 a game, and Columbia now takes a 1-point lead. First lead of the night for the Lions. 5-7 in Ivy play, but that record good enough to control their own destiny in a race for a playoff berth. Top 4 teams in the league get to compete at the Palestra. Foy, that's an offensive foul.
He went to the rim. Mike Smith was there outside the lane and picked it up.
And that'll bring us to our second media timeout. First one took a long time before we had the stoppage. Now we'll break at 11:31 to go. We'll wish Coach Bob Gaudette well as he begins yet another run in the ECAC hockey tournament.
Yeah, they came on
tonight.
strong, man. I'm really happy for him. He's got a good young team, and they play very, very aggressive.
No score against St. Lawrence. Game 1 of the best of 3 down the road at Thompson Arena tonight. We're at Lead Arena in Hanover. Columbia on nice run here. 10-0 to take the lead. Dartmouth had a 9-point lead early on. Mike Smith. So Miles Wright rebound for Dartmouth. Big Green has not hit a field goal now in it's a little over 4 minutes.
Columbia staying in their man-to-man defense, going away from what they have been playing recently.
Right inside.
Good take. They created a driving line by cutting in front of him. He knew the middle was open. Took it nice to the rim, didn't convert.
Lions, actually, there are some scenarios where they could wrap up a playoff berth with a win tonight, not worry about Harvard tomorrow. Rattled out. That was a nice job inside by Falls to back tap it and save the possession for Columbia, but they couldn't hit. Rye comes around up top. It's a freshman from Markham, Ontario. He's provided a nice spark offensively and defensively for the Big Green when he's come in. Barry will take it up top. Dartmouth again under 10 on the clock. Barry out to Sister, launches the 3 and gets it.
One of those late shot prayers that go in, and that happens sometimes. Got to stay with the defense till the final time.
Gonna have a foul away from the ball on Jaron Falls of Columbia, the first Lion foul of the game.
Here's a little tidbit for you. Mike Smith is 1 for 6 from the floor, and he's never changed his expression while he's playing. He's playing hard defense. He knows he can get to the rim at will because all his shots been inside the paint. Look out for him as this game progresses.
We'll get a little bit of a breather right now. Taylor Johnson back in for Dartmouth, nearly had it knocked away by Stefanini for Columbia.
They like Stefanini. I was talking to the Columbia coaches before the game. They like Stefanini.
And there's a foul. And actually some familiar faces around these parts right on the Columbia staff. Jesse Yeagle with his UVM connection.
Yeah, he's former associate head coach when they beat Syracuse in the NCAA tournament.
Gene Bain.
Played, and he also was coaching at Brown. Gene Bain was here. He was at the University of New Hampshire and at Dartmouth College for 4 or 5 years.
He's on Jim Engel's staff.
Yeah, good to see them and good to catch up with Jimmy again. He's a good guy and a good coach.
Inside is Knight. Rebound. Jackson gets stuffed to pay inside with a block for the Lions. And a double dribble is called across the way.
The previous possession was Dartmouth's best offensive possession. Knight did almost everything perfect. He kept his body in. The ball was away. He was inside the paint. He elevated, and they came out of nowhere with the block.
Big Green inbounded, and we're right at 9 minutes left in the first half tonight. Dartmouth trying to earn a split of the season series with Columbia. Knight Comes back over to Barry, where teams are just giving him no room at all.
They give him no room. They chest him as soon as he gets the ball.
Miles
Oh, what a
Wright.
play.
Oh.
That can ignite you. That could ignite the bench, that could ignite the crowd, and it could ignite your team. But more importantly, it can ignite Miles Wright.
How about that? .31 Miles Hansen on the foul for Columbia. Well, Dartmouth has come out of this last break now with a 6-0 run, and Dartmouth has a 5-point lead again. Right of play. Caslin comes to the right side. Back up top for the 3 ball. That doesn't go off the back iron. Johnson tips it. Miles Wright has it for Dartmouth. Be out of the corner. Foy for 3 more.
Foy's percentage is not high this year, but it's difficult to come off the bench and take 2 and make 1. He got an early, he was in the game 2 minutes into the game, and now he's made 2 threes.
Lions short on that one. And Hansen able to save the possession for the Lions. Dartmouth back out to an 8-point lead. Game of runs. This is a wide open look, and it goes down. No problem for Miles Hansen.
Yeah, that was the helper. They drove the middle of the lane. The weak side corner guy helped. They found it. They sprayed it to him, and he knocked it down.
12th made 3 of the year for Miles Hansen from Chaska, Minnesota. Barry.
That was deep.
That
was deep. That was from across the street. That was from the parking lot. Usually you don't have to guard that far out.
A lot of threes for Dartmouth early on. Rebound opportunity for Caslin doesn't go. Miles Wright will bring Dartmouth back into the front court. Nice run here for the Big Green. Foy gets it to Johnson. We work towards 10 on the clock. And that'll be off. Yeah, they're going to say off Dartmouth. Off
Yeah,
Foy.
he got himself in trouble. Didn't have a real good outlet. Careless pass. 10 for 18 overall. They'll take every night. Columbia, on the other hand, is 7 for 21, but they've gotten good looks. I think that will average out.
Columbia trying to work towards a playoff berth. Pass inside to Tepe, and he's going to shuffle the feet. Dartmouth ball.
They came out of the timeout. They definitely wanted him on a post-up. They wanted tape on a post-up. They did everything right. He had both feet in the paint. Got a little uncomfortable and traveled.
Coming into play this weekend, every team except Dartmouth remains in the race for a playoff berth. That's how things have changed in this with this new 4-team tournament. Miles Wright will get to the line.
If you didn't know the stats and you didn't know the Ivy League standings and you were watching the game, you would not know which team was playing for a tournament berth. And that's how the Ivy League is. The kids that go here, Bob, they take so much pride and they're so competitive in all aspects of their life. They want to be successful. So I expected a real good effort from Dartmouth tonight, and we're clearly getting that.
Tough weekend last weekend, and now the final home weekend. Both of these teams with a lot of tough beats this year.
Nope.
Not only does it happen to Dartmouth, but Columbia, more than half of their losses have been by 2 possessions or less.
Outside of the Penn Princeton trip, Dartmouth's there. Columbia is there every single night. They and it'll come down to the wire tonight as well.
Big Green by 9. Miles Wright has 9 points. This is Falls, and it's another turnover for the Lions.
Again, they wanted the ball. They wanted the ball inside. They got it inside, and it was a travel.
Big Green with a chance to build up a double-digit lead here late in the first half. Cister's lost his dribble, so he'll go tonight. Crisp on the baseline.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's a 3 dribble, spin dribble back, jump over a one-on-one move. He believes he can score. I think
they had to readjust the Ivy League women's basketball schedule on this last weekend because of the winter storm that, thank goodness, spared the Upper Valley. The games at Cornell had to be postponed tonight. So Dartmouth is going to play at Columbia tomorrow afternoon and at Cornell on Sunday afternoon to conclude their season for Coach Belko Klanis. Right side for the Lions. This is Hickman. The 10 on the clock. Caslin, a 3 no good. Adrice Jackson takes the ball away from Jaron Falls to give Dartmouth the ball. 5:20 left in the half. Big Green by 11, the biggest lead for either team. Barry comes back to Miles Wright. 3. It's good. He has a dozen.
I think he should probably touch the ball a little more. I get that feeling he's going to have a good night. And Dartmouth's doing a good job on Aldrich. They stay with him wherever he goes. They don't help. That's why they got that layup, because they wouldn't help off Aldrich.
Falls with his second field goal. Lead is 12. Barry working against Mike Smith, who's back in for Columbia.
Nice.
Oh, that little hook shot from Adrice Jackson.
Chris Knight goes out. Another freshman takes his place, converts an inside play.
Adrice had 24 points, 14 rebounds, making a start against Columbia the first time. Game that Chris Knight couldn't play. By the hoop, Caslin with a reverse layup. So we approach 4 minutes. The Dartmouth lead is a dozen. Big stretch here for Coach Engels in Columbia. Wright, who's been hot, didn't get that one. Adlish into the front court, been held to just 3 points so far. On only 2 shots. Smith nearly had it knocked away by Wright. But,
He used the ball screen. The big guy jumped out. He went right by him. They help in the lane. He drifted away and made the shot. Very clever play.
And Dartmouth now will use a timeout with 3:35 to go here in the first half. So
In that way, he loves Dartmouth basketball and been very generous to the program, and a tremendous loss for the Dartmouth family.
went on to play for the Boston Celtics. The Dartmouth ball here, closing moments of what has been a strong first half for the Big Green. Trying to close off the season in style here, first with Columbia tonight. Cornell's here tomorrow night, senior night. Knight, and they're going to get him on backing into Caslin.
Yeah, I don't know about that call. That he's driving. I don't know. He does a spin dribble away from the pressure, and kid goes down. They call it a charge. That's not a very good call.
5th foul on Dartmouth, first on Chris Knight.
Columbia doing a great job on Brandon Barry. Only 1 look so far, 2 looks.
Dartmouth got there late, but Caslin couldn't hit it. It's a Dartmouth rebound, but they're going to give it right back. Adrice Jackson caught there trying to decide what to do.
Dartmouth doing a great job on Quentin Aldrich. He's really having trouble getting looks. They're staying right with him. They're shadowing him wherever he goes, taking a damn man out of the defense.
Ivy League leader in 3-point field goals is Adlesh.
That's a freshman mistake by Knight. The guy gave a very good shot fake, but Knight left his feet 20 feet from the basket, allowed an easy drive.
Kyle Caslin's up to 8 tonight. Season average is 10. Lions chipping away for Dartmouth that opened up a 14-point lead. Defense is tough. Foy up top is Jackson. Yes!
The freshman bigs are playing very well.
7 made 3-pointers on 11 tries for Dartmouth. And it's an 11-point lead. Smith right into the hands of Jackson.
Mismatch inside. Mike Smith was guarding Wright.
Jackson, I think, was looking for a foul there. So was Coach Dave McLaughlin. Thought Idris was hit on the arm. Be an offensive foul.
That could be a payback. I make a mistake on one charge, I'll make a mistake on the other one. That could have gone either way as well.
Taylor Johnson, who has spent a lot of the first half on the bench with 2 fouls, back in for the big green. Minute 45 left. Dartmouth by 11.
Andres Jackson out of the game, but boy, he had a real impact when he was in.
Johnson up top with 15.
Whoop.
Wright gathers that in, but now the clock down to 6. Johnson is blocked. Nate Hickman got a hand on it. And then Hickman will give it right back over on the carry.
Good call. That ball was high, and he did carry it. It was a good hesitation with the feet, but the ball just came a little high. His hand got well underneath it. He turned it over.
Brendan Barry. It's only taken one shot. It was from long range, and it went in. Try to create some separation for himself.
2 for 2.
Yeah, instead into the lane. That works.
He did to Smith what Smith has been doing to him. He changed direction, got inside, and elevated over him.
Columbia could make this a 2 for 1. Hickman, no.
A lot of contact inside.
And saved by Barry on the end line.
Dartmouth's going for one shot.
We can use up most of the 25 left. Barry with 10.
You'd like to go to a penetrator in this situation. They don't really have one on the court. Mistake.
Caslin will get 2. Dartmouth still with 2 seconds. 1, and Barry has it knocked away from behind.
Brendan Barry plays the game under duress for 40 minutes. He very rarely makes a bad pass. Rarely makes a bad.
What's the message for the second half?
Well, if I'm Dartmouth, I want to win the first 4 minutes. I want to reestablish control of the game. And if I'm Columbia, I have to take control. I have to have more stops and scores. They'd like to come out. They're very good at set pieces after timeouts. I'm sure they're coming up with a set piece here that's going to produce a good opportunity.
Again, Columbia in the light blue, Dartmouth in the white. Last weekend of the regular season in the Ivy League. Mike Smith, relatively quiet first half. Did have 4 points.
He can generate his shot, but he's not cashing down. You got to cash in if you're going to create it.
Just 2 for 8 shooting now in the game. Idris Jackson starts the second half. Miles Wright for 3. No good. Smith with a rebound. Dartmouth made 7 of 13 threes in the first half. Columbia 3 of 11. Inside to pay, no good.
Another good look, didn't convert.
Lions looking for a win. Barry comes back to Johnson. Right side is Idris Jackson. Good. Dartmouth knocks down another one.
You wouldn't know he's a freshman. He shoots the ball with such confidence. He's very calm, hard-nosed player. And Dave plays him, Coach McLaughlin plays him like for 3 minutes at a time. He comes in, he makes an impact, and he's back out.
Biggest lead matched at 14 for Dartmouth. Under 10, Hickman for 3 answers back. There's a couple of them tonight.
Yeah, he can shoot, but that one was contested. I thought Miles was right there, and that was a deep three-pointer towards the end of the shot clock.
Columbia 37% on three-pointers for the year. They're the second leading scoring team in the league at 76.4 a game.
Columbia actually doubled the post when the ball was thrown in, and they rotated to Brandon Barry. He was open for a second. Dartmouth may have to play some inside-out action next time.
Second foul goes on Patrick Turpay of Columbia. Barry will lob it in. Chris Knight over in front of the Dartmouth bench.
Another double coming.
Wright goes inside. No, and Chris Knight gets fouled as he got position there for the rebound.
You know, Dartmouth's only won 6 games all year. They're out of the Ivy League race. They just got crushed by Penn and Princeton, and the whole bench was up on that rebounding foul. A lot of emotion, a lot of intensity, a lot of chemistry with that Dartmouth program.
Chris Knight, 65% from the line, no good on the first. And to show you where Dartmouth is at tonight, Big Green averaged 46.5 points last weekend at Penn and Princeton. They're at 42 right now with 18 minutes to go against Columbia. Nothing like the home cooking. Knight cannot connect. Lions the other way. Hickman goes right under Miles Wright for the bucket.
Miles got beat. They call it a shuffle cut. It's from the weak side to the strong side. You got to jump to the pass and bounce up to the ball and defeat that screen. That was too easy.
Barry to Jackson, and Barry is the one who absolutely finishes it off. 11-point lead for the Big Green. Caslin coming strong. Lion rebound. Corner for Caslin.
Oh, push.
Push underneath in the rebounding action.
Now, I just mentioned in the previous play that Miles Wright got beat on a screen from weak to strong side because he didn't balance up to the ball. And after Dartmouth scored, Miles Wright looked over to the coach and pointed to his chest, my fault, my responsibility. That's winning basketball. When you take accountability, you know you made the mistake. He clearly did, but he admitted it, and you know as a coach it's not going to happen again.
Quentin Adlesh limited to just one field goal, 1 3-point make, misses there. So Dartmouth with an 11-point lead at under 17 to go. Barry for 3, no good. Miles Wright with an offensive rebound and will get fouled. You're going to put him at the line?
That's their third offensive rebound of the half.
After a first half in which they had one. Foul on the floor. Mike Smith with his first foul for the Lions. Barry will come into Jackson, and a fresh clock for Dartmouth. Columbia won the first meeting of the year, 77-74. Barry drives and scores.
Hey, very nice play. Good shot fake, hard take to the rim.
Big Green playing with a lot of confidence.
I think Barry feels if he can get south of the foul line, then he can elevate over Mike Smith.
And a moving screen there will be called on Nate Hickman. And he'll commit the foul and give the ball back to Dartmouth on a turnover. And Columbia already up to 4 fouls in the half.
Columbia now trying to force the pace. They're picking up full court, making it real tough on Barry. Smith harassing him much more aggressively.
Chris Knight fighting hard, and he'll be called for the travel.
Yeah, he did a quick spin move. I think he did move both feet. It was a high-low feed from Andrasi, who now you have to play because he's made a couple threes, so that creates more space for Knights to go to work.
All right, Dartmouth offers no pressure. Clock about to go under 16 minutes. And Dartmouth's lead is 13. It's been as big as 14. Smith back out for a Hickman 3, and that's no good. Back ironed it, but it's a Lion rebound, and Falls will stuff it.
Not totally Dartmouth's fault. That was a 3 ball that they gave up, but the shot was so hard it came way deep as an offensive rebound, and it was anybody's ball. Columbia converted.
Johnson finds Knight. In the lane, Adrees Jackson.
You know, those two freshmen have fed off each other all night, and they can't be in the game that long together because they lack the third big man.
Chris Knight, big Knight with assists. Caslin
That was a good take.
made a couple of them like that.
Andresi should have stepped in, sealed the baseline, and picked up the charge. Instead, he went for the block, and he opened the gates.
Easy bucket for Columbia. Kyle Caslen leading scorer for the Lions. He has a dozen. Wright feeds Knight.
There's the double. There's the rotation. Dartmouth hurts it.
They didn't come out and guard Brendan Barry.
Columbia came out at halftime saying the freshman bigs are very confident we're going to double him. And when they doubled down, Barry was open. The rotation man could not get to him, and they made Columbia pay. Yeah, that's a foul, Andresi.
It'll be his third, and it'll also bring us to the timeout with 14:33 to go. Brendan Barry is up to a dozen points. He averages 10 a game.
Don't know what he could be complaining about. If something else happened before that, I can't tell. But it's a good way to give the other team some momentum.
So this is going to put Columbia's Kyle Caslen at the line. Idris Jackson is charged with his third personal foul on the foul, and then the technical becomes his fourth.
That's not smart basketball. You have to be in control.
Caslen nearly 90% from the line. His two makes make this 51-39, and Columbia gets the ball at what they call the 28-foot mark.
And it's coming off a timeout, so you'll see a set piece to whatever they want. They're very good at this.
Hickman is up top.
It's a stagger.
Barry got out on Mike Smith, and they're going to call a travel?
No, they called a foul. He hit somebody's foot going in. Coming out of the timeout, they ran a staggered screen for Aldris. It was defended nicely by Taylor Johnson.
James Foy with his second foul. So for Dave McLaughlin, there's a three-point field goal.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's what you want to do, force them to take runaways.
Chris Knight's going to have to play a lot of minutes here, isn't he? With no Will Emery tonight, out with an injury, and Idris Jackson on the bench with 4 fouls. Johnson gets a look.
Wide open.
Good for the senior, his third field goal.
Little screen-to-screener action. He screened, somebody screened for him, he was wide open.
Big Green by 14. No good for Hickman.
Foy, nice rebound.
Johnson didn't try to force it in. Instead, Miles Wright. Pass tip, Barry, long range.
He was naked. He very rarely has that room in an Ivy League game. He's a marked man, but he was naked on that one.
Lions falls with a rebound. Caslen off the window.
That was a good take. That was a good take. Good body control, quick first step. Kept the body in, ball away, hung in the air, laid it in nicely.
16 for Kyle Caslen. Columbia's number 0. Guarding Miles Wright. Trying to fight his way in. And I think Caslen got a piece of that.
Yeah. He was going left. He shot right into the pressure. It was a tough look.
Smith drives and scores. And here come the Lions. Back to a 10-point game.
They're too talented to go away. They have some weapons offensively. They're starting to utilize them.
Down to 12:25 left. Johnson, how about that? And a timeout taken by Dave McLaughlin as Taylor Johnson gives Dartmouth a 55-40. Princeton up double digits at Brown, 37-25, and Penn leads Yale, 42-39. Still deciding how the seedings will play out for next weekend's Ivy League tournament. Will decide the NCAA berth. Aaron Rye in for the Big Green. Back out is Mike Smith. And Columbia playing without a big player tonight in their lineup in Lucas Meissner. Mike Smith gets to 8 points.
Yeah, it looks like Mike Smith can generate his shot anytime he wants to. He just has to convert. That was very nice.
15, Gabe Stefanini back in for Columbia. This is Aaron Rye for 3, and it's good.
Now, that's a tough thing to do. He's been on the bench for a long time. He just came in after the timeout. His first touch, he nails a 3.
Dartmouth's 10th made three-pointer tonight. And Smith gets one right back for Columbia.
Like I said, he can generate his own look.
Foy for 3. And boy, they're coming from every direction.
And they're open. And in fairness to Dartmouth, they haven't been that open. People have really defended their shooters, and they are enjoying the space they're getting tonight.
And Adlish, the terrific three-point shooter, cannot hit for Columbia. So Dartmouth up by 13. See what Knight wants to do. Left hand? No. Rye fighting for that loose ball, and he's going to save the possession for Dartmouth because the arrow points the Big Greens away.
Again, the Big Green up, the whole bench is up. A lot of enthusiasm coming from Dartmouth.
And rightly so. Dartmouth leads Columbia 61-48. Timeout on the court. Bunch of games this year with an elbow injury, but playing very well right now.
I've never seen him play, but the coaches told me he was talented and he's had some he's been unlucky, but he's got some nice moves to the basket, some nice big, long first steps, hesitations, can also shoot the ball. He's a complete player.
Columbia's number 0. Chris Knight for the Big Green.
Now,
and look at the way he arcs that shot and knocks it in.
Again, coming out of a timeout, it's a set play. They went right to the freshman on an isolation play, had a nice spin move.
I'm going to call a tie-up here. Give the ball to Columbia. Dartmouth's basket gives the Big Green a 15-point lead, which is the biggest lead of the night for Dartmouth. Columbia ball 20 on the shot clock. And this is Castlin. Mike Smith gets blocked. First Dartmouth block of the night.
Was it Barry or was it Knight that came over? Might have been Barry that blocked it.
Adlish
creates a step back.
Creates room, but it didn't go.
It was in and out.
And an offensive foul on Columbia in the rebounding action. If that's 3 on the foul, Patrick Tapé, and that's going to be his 4th personal, have to quickly come out.
Yeah, Quentin Aldrich, who's been fairly quiet, tried to create his own, did a nice step-back shot from deep. It was around and out.
Back into the game comes Jaron Faulds.
Barry getting pressure from Smith.
Watch Miles right there in that far corner, just kind of snuck in there. Wright had a dozen in the first half, nothing yet here in the second half. Barry will set it up, but only 6 on the clock for Dartmouth. Foy will have to take it, looking for his 4th 3, didn't get it.
It was one of the better defensive possessions that Columbia's had this half.
Reach-in foul on Brendan Barry.
You can't come back from a deficit unless you get stops. It's just not scoring. It stops and scores. And it's the first time Columbia actually gave a defensive presence that they could shut down Dartmouth.
15-point deficit to make up in 9.5 minutes for the Lions. They do score quickly. Castlin coming strong, and he'll get to the line there on an Aaron Rye foul.
Yeah, he got the ball on the right elbow, and they had Aldrich in the right corner, so that means he can drive that side, and he's going to have space because they're not going to leave Aldrich on the drive, and that's what he's been doing.
They corrected that. The foul was not on Rye, it was on Chris Knight, so it'll be Knight's second. Castlin already 16 points in the book. Well, that helps your Dartmouth cause for a guy who had been 36 out of 40 on the year.
Knights is going to get, I'll bet you this is his last break of the game. Andresi's coming in, Andresi Jackson, with 4 personal fouls. They're short Will Emery, so they really lack the interior depth. So does Columbia.
1 out of 2 for Castlin. 17 points. He had 16 the first time that these teams met. Big Green with a 14-point lead. Johnson. Miles Wright looking for three. Yes!
Oh. Hey. They all count. That hit the back of the rim, went about 10 feet in the air and down through the cylinder. Miles is smiling as he's running back down the court. He knows it was impure, but he'll take it.
Mike Smith. Nope. And they've got Taylor Johnson, I think, on the foul for Dartmouth.
Yeah, Mike Smith, a very good player. He's not a great three-point shooter, and I don't think Dartmouth minds him taking that shot in early possession.
Dartmouth's seventh foul will put Columbia at the line now. Folds, a freshman at 6'10". This is not his strong suit. 10 for 22 from the line this year. And he cannot get the front end of the 1-and-1 there. Miles Wright trapped in the corner. Right back to Miles.
Right over.
And the lead is 19 for the Big Green.
And they're playing with confidence. And you just don't, you get the feeling that Columbia cannot shut him out for any length of time. Yeah, I'm sure Dave's trying to keep him focused. Just say, hey, let's win the next 4 minutes. Keep playing loose, keep being aggressive. It's time for Columbia to make a run. Look for an over-aggressive defense, starting to take some chances, jumping into some passing lanes.
Chris Knight back in off the timeout. Ian Sester also on the floor for Dartmouth. Mike Smith for Columbia. And Jackson on a reach-in, and he's done. Fifth foul on Adrees Jackson with 8:11 left.
Well, he had the help on the driver, and how they set that up after the timeout was they ran Quinton off a staggered screen. It looked like he was going to try to get the ball in the wing, but that just brought his defender over there. And then Smith turned the corner. They're not going to leave Quinton Aldrich to contest it. So the big man was late in his help because it was a quick set play, and it drew the foul. So you're going to see Chris Knight go the remaining 8 minutes and 11 seconds. But with immediate timeouts, it's certainly doable.
So Mike Smith goes to the line. Again, every Dartmouth foul puts Columbia at the line now. One more 1-and-1 after this. Mike Smith hits for 12. Those of you following Dartmouth men's ice hockey, their opening series with St. Lawrence. Big Green gave up the first goal of the game tonight in the quarterfinals, but scored 3 in a row late in the second period, so they have a 3-1 lead going to the third. 68-51 after the two makes. And Columbia needs a lot of stops.
Here's the full court pressure. Oh, they're looking to trap. It's run and jump action, yep. Barry, nice job. They're still trapping.
And Dartmouth's halfway into the shot clock now. Knight playing high. Down to 4. Sester will have to take it. And an offensive rebound for Chris Knight. Back to Sester. There you go. Kick it back out. Johnson with the left hand.
Oh.
Smart basketball.
Columbia did everything right. They forced up a bad shot at the end. Shot was so bad it went to a Dartmouth player, then they made the most of a fortunate opportunity by kicking it out and driving to the open space. Adler's having trouble manufacturing his own. Smith does it, can get it anytime he wants.
2 more for Mike Smith.
And here comes pressure. They trap, step up, trouble. Whoop.
And Miles Wright will finish it. First Taylor Johnson. Very difficult job to get out of that double team, and then Dartmouth got the ball to the right guy. Knight has 19.
Yeah, he had space. They had numbers. He faked the pass.
As Adlish, a quick three. Columbia will be stopping the clock here, but they're down 16 with 6:40 to go. They aren't going to get a break. Terrific job by the Big Green here.
All right, now it's three-quarter pressure now.
Foul situation for Columbia. They have one to give. They have 5. Certainly can play aggressive. Johnson using clock. And Sestair comes up short on that one. They'll look for 3. Hickman, they didn't get it. Castlin with not only the offensive rebound, but the putback bucket.
Yeah, with 6 minutes left, Columbia said, we're going to put the ball in Smith's hands. He can either score or create for others. They're not running nearly as many sets as they used to. They're just attacking with Smith with the ball. He's a weapon.
And Big Green will certainly be very patient. They go deep into clocks anyway. Barry wants a helper. He stepped in the backcourt.
That was a very physical double team. That was right in front of us. And there was more than a little contact. But you know what? The defense created that situation. They got him in trouble. I'm kind of glad they didn't call the foul on that because they earned that.
And Barry just made the mistake there, just landed right on the line with the bat with his heel. Smith for 3. That's no good. And a rebound for James Foy. So Dartmouth with 5:15 to go with a 14-point lead. And that'll be a foul on Adlish. That was the one they had to give. That's the 6th. So no shooting yet. That last media break, Dartmouth was shooting 59% for the game. 72 points. Knight inside.
You know,
Knight a slam, he has 6.
Knight gets the dunk, but Taylor Johnson made a great post feed. When you're feeding the post, you have to throw it away from the defense. And it's exactly what he did. He led him right to the rim.
Columbia will get 2 back. Falls inside, but again, they can't match. They're down 14. So they'll double team in the backcourt. Johnson doesn't have anything easy, so he'll work it around again. Dartmouth has done a terrific job taking care of the basketball against the pressure. So we'll send Dartmouth to the line. It's a foul on Falls.
Yeah, I kind of like the way Dartmouth's attacking. They're still getting paint touches. They're going to the rim when they see space. They're not trying to sit on this lead at all. They're looking to score. And they should. With the 30-second shot clock, there's still plenty of time.
The big guy to pay back in for Columbia. He's playing with 4 fouls. Barry with a rare miss.
Rare miss.
88% free throw shooter.
And the jet comes down and he gets fouled.
Some say he may be the quickest guy in the Ivy League.
I think he is.
James Foy getting a lot of minutes tonight. 3 fouls. Again, Will Emery not playing for the Big Green. Out with an injured hand. But Idris Jackson is fouled out.
You should be able to miss a free throw and still have your defense set so they don't go rim coast to coast or rim to rim. I know he's quick, but there's 5 guys out there. Fulfill your responsibility. Turn, sprint, and point. Get back and defend the arc.
Smith, who had made 104 free throws coming into the game today, has his 4th made free throw tonight. He has 17, and the lead is down to a dozen with 4:21 left. Wright and Barry in the backcourt, and Smith commits the foul there. Almost got it.
Yeah, he was a half a step late. He got the arm.
Not quite to the under 4 timeout yet.
I'll bet he doesn't miss this one.
Brendan Barry for the year, 36 out of 42. And he did not miss on the front end.
Very consistent free throw shooter and shooter as well.
14 tonight for Brendan Barry. Dartmouth 76, Columbia 62. Long range three is rebounded by James Foy. Dartmouth led by 11 at the half, 39-28. This is Johnson. Doesn't get it. Columbia Adlesh, and that's three. Quentin Adlesh, 3 threes.
That was a good push by Smith. Adlesh got rewarded for running the floor.
And a Dartmouth turnover here. Bring us to the timeout.
I don't see it. He definitely caught it in the front court, stepped towards the back court. I didn't see his foot hit the line. And you don't want to comment on it, so I guess we're all set.
Nothing I can do about it now.
I can't either.
I know. Columbia down 11. Mike Smith generating a lot of offense, short of it with the right hand. Comes back to Adlesh. Caslin in the corner. Adlesh a three-point try. It spins out, and it is a Dartmouth ball.
Big stop after the timeout.
Foy came down with a rebound on the baseline. Dartmouth will push it ahead. Big Green as we approach 3 minutes with an 11-point lead. Columbia has one more 1-and-1 foul to give. Barry 10 on the clock. Feeds Chris Knight at a foul. Beyond Columbia, and Chris Knight will get 2 shots. Foul to Kyle Caslin, his first.
Columbia came out of the timeout. They ran a nice driving line from Mike Smith. The ball was moved. Adlesh got a nice open look. They got the rebound. They couldn't convert. Dartmouth came up with a big rebound, but that was a big stop because it would have put it in single digits, and now they're at the foul line to extend their lead.
This is 2 for Chris Knight. Been to the line twice tonight, and 0 for 2.
It's 3 in a row for him, I think.
Six points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. All right, tough night.
Yeah, struggling at the foul line.
2:45 left. Lions looking for a quick hoop. Mike Smith, no.
And crash.
Put back in by Tepe.
Dartmouth's got to get back and seal their gaps because Columbia's not running any offense right now. They're just driving the ball with Smith.
Johnson has his pocket pick. Ball on the floor picked up by Adlesh. The lead is 9 as Hickman comes in with a right hand. Be a foul. Kind of used his left hand there to kind of push away, but they call the foul on the Big Green. That'll be 2 shots on the foul by Chris Knight. Nate Hickman, a 77% free throw shooter. .215 left. Dartmouth had a 19-point lead with 8:27 to go. The 2 free throws for Hickman. He moves into double figures. And it's still a 3-possession game. It's 76-69. Facing the pressure. Barry uses senior Taylor Johnson. Knight kicks it out. Foy for 3. No good. He was open.
Good look. I was surprised Columbia didn't foul Knight when he touched the ball. They had an ample opportunity.
Smith for 3. And that's good. Timeout Lions. And we've got a 4-point game. Mike Smith gets to 20. Dartmouth needs points somehow, some way. Either a field goal or free throw. Take a little bit of the pressure off. 76-72. 1:34 left. Foy and Knight, Miles Wright, Taylor Johnson, Brendan Barry on the floor for the Big Green.
Went for the steal. It wasn't an intentional foul. He definitely went for the steal, and it's their 10th, so now Dartmouth gets 2 shots.
And they get senior Miles Wright at the line.
Now, the last 3 times Dartmouth's been at the foul line, Smith's come down the other end and had good looks without any passes. So I'm kind of watching Dartmouth defenders now to see if they're checking him.
Wright makes the first. He gets to 20 tonight. Going to break the Dartmouth record for most starts by a basketball player in his career. Second one is good. And the lead is 6, 78-72. Smith behind the arc. Dribbles underneath, gives it to Caslin. They'll get the 2 and a foul.
That was a good play. Smith went right by Barry in a baseline drive.
The foul on Brendan Barry. They'll put Kyle Caslin at the line here.
Caslin was at the 3-point line. He was open there, but he went to the rim. That's his strength. Smith made a good feed, 3-point play.
Matches his career high with 22 points, and it's 78-75 Dartmouth.
Columbia just needs to be solid here. Have a good possession and end up with a stop. They don't need a steal here.
Wright and Barry working the backcourt, and Wright is across the timeline safely. Took about 8 seconds to bring it up. 15 on the shot clock. 1 minute. Knight again will come up and screen. Barry with 4, with 3, with 2, with 1. They won't get a shot off. And it went in. Miles Wright threw it up there at the buzzer. It won't count. Timeout Dartmouth with 48 and a half left. Columbia can tie with a 3-point field goal. How about this?
It was a good defensive stop. They get into offense late because of the press. False screening action and send Adlish off and then have Smith drive his side. He's open every time because they don't leave Adlish.
Mike Smith works to the right. Adlish couldn't get position. They'll play inside. No good on the shot by Tepe, and Chris Knight has the ball. Dartmouth goes the front court with it. Foy will pass up a shot opportunity, and Dartmouth not quite run the clock out.
They let a lot of time go off and fouled a good foul shooter. I think you have to foul the rebounder in that situation. Columbia got the look they wanted. They had a mismatch inside. They threw the ball over the top.
They have an extra moment here to gather around their coach with Patrick Tepe fouling out on the play.
Yeah.
Dartmouth will go to the line.
Tate did everything right. He spun to the rim, but he didn't get the ball. Couldn't knock it down. Failed to convert. And then they let a lot of time go off the court. When Chris Knight got the rebound, they had time to foul him before he passed it. Those are situations that coaches practice all the time, late game situations. Didn't execute it.
And Taylor Johnson, 2 tries to make it a 2-possession game, and he is successful in doing it with the first. Dartmouth by 4 with 19 seconds left.
Yeah. Coach McLaughlin pulls Miles Wright off the line. Now he has 3 defenders back to defend Smith.
The lead is 5. Smith, strong to the hole. They'll get it to Hickman. A 3-ball, no good. Tipped around, controlled by Columbia with 7 seconds. They got to shoot quickly, and that one is no good, and Dartmouth is going to come away with a win here tonight as Hickman's shot. They'll count it, but it's not enough.
Good. Well deserved.
What a battle. And in the end, Dartmouth survived.